Crypto is going into a very nasty bear market. A lot of altcoins are about to go to zero or as close to zero as can be. On this video, I'm going to be detailing exactly why I believe this is the case and why I think you should be protecting your capital right now if you have any cryptocurrency exposure. So that probably doesn't sound like good news, but please do hear me out on what I have to say. So right now, just let's have an overview of where we are in this cycle. You can see that obviously since the start of 2023, really, we had the last bear market that ran from late 2021 to late 2022. We started to turn around early 2023. 2023 was actually a really big year. 2024, as we know, last year, we sort of ran up. We came to all-time highs prior to any other cycle. We actually made all-time highs pre-halving. That was due to the ETFs, the hype, the excitement around that. And I just think in general, people have been front running this cycle. As soon as this bottom was in, people then started to jump in very aggressively. They started to front run what would be coming over the next 2 to 3 years. They were doing that in 2022, or right at the end of 2022 and 2023. In 2024, obviously, this year, 2025, many people were expecting to be bullish. So those smarter traders, smarter investors knew that don't wait until 2025 to buy in 2024. And now we've got to 2025. And it's clear to me there is a complete lack of demand coming into the market right now. Everybody that wanted to buy crypto has now bought. So, um, if we look at what was really propping this market up at the start of this year, it was Michael Saylor. He's starting to run out of money. I think his last purchase was something like $10 million worth of Bitcoin. Previously, he was purchasing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin per purchase. So he's ran out of money to buy. The ETFs have been selling off. There's been disclosures about other nation states, Abu Dhabi, for example, purchasing some Bitcoin. A lot of these things have already happened. A lot of institutions that wanted to buy have already bought. And we're going into a general risk-off period in the stock market. We can see stocks are fairly flat today. And it's a low liquidity environment. There's austerity taking place in America, layoffs, cutbacks on government spending. So all of this means that liquidity, there's not the liquidity to actually flow into the crypto space. And personally, I mean, I've drawn previously. I've drawn three parts. So I showed one with a fairly aggressive recovery. I think that's completely off the table right now. This is my most likely path now, is that we are going into a year-long bear market, potentially a multi-year long bear market, but at least a year-long bear market. And we're going to see lower prices across the board. And I think this is the most likely path as far as I can see it, unless there's some sort of demand that comes literally out of nowhere and comes into this market. And if that were to happen, then I think we could see something like this. Interestingly, if we come down and we hold in the low 70,000s and we consolidate into the summer, I think there could be a chance that Bitcoin runs its highs again later this year. If the stock market is rebounding throughout that period as well, then this will give me more confidence that actually we could be in for another leg higher. But I think it's becoming less and less likely. But the clue will be in the price action. If we do something like this, if we come down lower, if bills are not stepping in the mid to low 70s and we actually drop down lower, then if after that we see a very, very strong reversal, this will actually be a more bearish sign because that's indicating that the market has sort of moved up pretty much very, very, very quickly, too quickly, unorganically. And a lot of smart money that did position up here will then be looking to exit. I mean, I don't know what smart money was positioning in up here. I think a lot of it was positioning in last year. Those people will probably take their exit as close to 90, as close to 100K as possible. I don't think we get back above this trend line. This is a long, long-term trend line from the last bull market highs, which has now come into play. It had been held. We've now broken below it. Whilst we're below this, there's no question that we're going to see higher prices. So that's what I'm currently thinking. Obviously, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but somebody has to come up with a honest take on what is going on with the market right now because I just keep seeing influencers coming out with absolute nonsense, and I'm going to share some of the nonsense right here. And it's really around altcoins. These people seem to be absolutely fixated that alt season is coming any day now. I mean, just look at the state of this. Mr. Crypto, I mean, Lord help you if you are following this guy's tweets because he is absolutely, absolutely. I don't want to say the word. I don't want to get into trouble on YouTube for calling other people names, but yeah, you really need your head examining if you are following what this guy is saying. I mean, the best he's got, alt season is coming any day now because of a fractal pattern. And this is all it is. I mean, I can tell you just by looking at this that the distance between these two lines is not the same as the distance between this and this line. They are literally doing everything they can to fit the data to make you think that this is about to happen. And obviously, this is to stop you from selling at what are still good prices. I mean, if you look at a total market cap, okay, this is not a bad level. Selling your crypto at $2.7 trillion market cap. I mean, years ago we were down at 200 billion. We're 10 times that, guys. We're basically at the highs we were last year still. Obviously, total free. If you're mainly altcoin heavy, again, you are still above the highs from early last year. You were as low as 300 billion. You're currently at over 800 billion. This idea that alts have been destroyed this cycle and that everything is absolutely wrecked. I mean, certain narratives are, but I mean, it's not the worst time to get out. And stuff like this is going to stop people from getting out. Stuff like this is what keeps people holding down to 600 billion, down to 500 billion, down to 400, all the way back down to 300 billion. And you know, who's to say we don't fall a bit lower from there this time around? Because it's like everything bullish that could have happened for altcoins has happened, and it couldn't take out the high from the last cycle. So, this is a deviation. This is a trap right here, and this just looks like a classic double top. And of course, if this breaks, then it's all over. I mean, this chart is going to zero, and that goes for all of the altcoins. So, do I think that will happen? Probably not. But I do think we'll come down a lot lower. And if I can, try and get a trend line on here, but you can make the case that potentially we're going to come down somewhere closer to 500 billion, and then maybe from there, I mean, we're looking at probably a low to come in by the end of this year. So just in terms of altcoins, then maybe we see something like this. We come down to this level. Just looking at our Fibonacci here from this low to high. Yeah, potentially we could come down and touch this 786 later on this year. And then bounce. The problem is we probably need some consolidation after this? And, would we just start to sort of trend up along this line? I mean, if we look at the last bear market, we kind of went sideways for a while into at least the middle of the next year. So can we come all the way down here and then sort of trend up? I'm not too sure, and possibly we validate this line and then can do something. But yeah, things are not looking good at all, and it's a bit messy. So I'm just going to take some of these off. So yeah, things are not looking good at all, and I don't really see how this doesn't come all the way down here, at least potentially even down to the last bear market lows. So total, yeah, total I think is coming a lot lower too. And like I say, these guys are lying to you. Do not fall for this absolute nonsense. These ridiculous fractals. I mean, it's just lines. It's just lines on a chart which are made visually to make you think that there's some sort of science behind this. There's not. This is just pure clutching at straws, hoping of the highest order. We got this one as well. This idiot. I'm gonna tell it how it is. This absolute idiot, Max Brown, BTC. He's of the, from cut from the same cloth as Mr. Crypto, and you know, same thing. He's using the Bitcoin dominance chart to show a breakdown. I mean, what the hell is going to drive this? Where's the liquidity coming from? In the past, this was rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins, and when that started to happen, it happened at a rapid rate. This was your alt season. This was your rotation. It lasted about 2 weeks, and I'm sorry, but it's done. This is going to trend higher. We got another one here. So again, another idiot, Wilmar. The crypto market always explodes after the March reversal pattern. Okay, so the March reversal. So that to me looks like it's actually in July. That looks like it's in July. So I don't know what he's talking about saying the March reversal. Who has a clue? Please do let me know if anybody knows what he's on about. But these aren't even remotely the same. This one's going higher, down, and then off. This one is sort of. I mean, this is up. This is in the down. Like, who the hell knows what this idiot's talking about? And here we go. Here's a list of the alts with 1,000x potential. I mean, anybody that tells you that an altcoin is going to do 1,000x this year really is not your friend. Really wants you to lose your money. So again, we're going to keep it real here, and we're going to show you the facts. I mean, let's pull up Bitcoin dominance. For me, Bitcoin dominance, we're at a key level here. And I'm sorry, but this has broken no structure. This is still in an uptrend. And where does the uptrend go from here? I mean, I personally think we are looking at something like this playing out into later on this year. And you know what? From there, we probably go even higher. There's no reason for this to turn around. I think altcoins have been exposed as exactly what they are, which is, 99% of them are scams. And the other small percentage of crypto projects that actually are not scams are actually building something interesting. There's no need for their token. So the only demand that is going to come for these tokens is if you need to buy these tokens to then access something else. So for example, Ethereum, if you want to do DeFi, if you want to trade on the Ethereum ecosystem, You're going to need to buy some Ethereum, the same with Solana, the same with Sui. These things, I can see why there would be some demand if the usage for that network went up. It's like with Bitcoin, there's demand for Bitcoin as a store of value. If people need an inflation hedge, if people need a store of value, then people are going to demand Bitcoin. The issue right now for Bitcoin is gold is actually outperforming, which is the, more trusted, more long-term store of value. So could gold's trend reversing actually be the catalyst for Bitcoin to make another leg higher, i.e., for Bitcoin to actually do something like this later on this year? Is possible. Like I say, if there's a catalyst, then we could still get one more leg higher. So potentially that comes with some sort of announcement that nation states or the US is looking to sell some gold to actually rotate into Bitcoin. And that could be a driver. I'm just trying to come up with things that will actually make a difference to the Bitcoin price, because Donald Trump talking about how he wants the US to be the crypto economy and how he's already set up the Bitcoin strategic reserve without selling any more seized Bitcoin is not the same thing. It's not actually going to provide the catalyst to get us to mark up higher because it's already priced in. It's the same with individual states in the US opening or adding strategic reserves. A lot of that is already priced in because they've been talking about it for months now. And many, many hearings have been taking place, and different motions and applications have been passed through to the Supreme Court and things like this, or to the Senate to review. So that ball is already out there. That is already in play. So we need a new catalyst. And honestly, unless they start announce they're going to sell a load of big gold to buy Bitcoin, I don't really see what that catalyst is going to be. They've also talked about making crypto made in the US exempt of capital gains. Whilst that sounds fantastic, I mean, there's going to be no capital gains to pay on those investments unless they're taking off and going up. So maybe in the next bull market, we see those made in USK, made in USA coins do better because people in the US can invest in those coins and know they don't have to pay capital gains on their profits. But right now, if the market is trending down, that doesn't really make any investment more lucrative or more attractive because there's not going to be any capital gains to pay anyway. So I'm just trying to be completely honest in terms of what I'm seeing. So yeah, like I say, if there's a big catalyst that comes out early this year, maybe we see something like that. But without that, I think we deflate and I think we go lower. Do we come all the way down to 30,000 into the 20s? I don't know. This is pure speculation. But if we look at what the last bear market did, then we can see that we drew down. I want to make sure I get the whole lot of it, about 77%. And if we were to go from here all the way down to 30,000, it's about 72%. So look, I think it's possible. Maybe we don't go far that down that far. But I think if we come into this range, the range from last summer, I don't see the low of this range holding. I think we need to take this out and we need to sweep lower. And, potentially we don't go that low. Potentially we just come into here and we just consolidate. Maybe we just sweep that low and we just consolidate. Probably we interact with the 300-day moving average. We went below that last time. Maybe we get below that. People are calling for lower prices, and then those people get front run. I think down at those sorts of levels, so that would be about a 60% decline if we went down to around 42. But I mean, down at those levels, I mean, sub 50,000, I think Bitcoin is a decent buy. I think it's good. It's going to be good to accumulate. in these areas. So, I'm not saying we go this low, but history tells us that the crypto market needs time to repair after we've seen this type of euphoria. Then it needs time to reset, shall we say. So this is what I'm expecting. And I'm thinking the low could come in towards the end of 2025. By that time, I think the stock market will be turning around, and I expect there's most of the austerity to be over. The US probably goes back to printing after it realizes that it can't get rid of the deficit in 1 year just by cutting some government spending. It's going to take a long, long, long time. And President Trump is going to want the stock market higher ultimately during his term. He's not going to want to be the president that is remembered for absolutely nuking the stock market and everybody's pensions and everybody's wealth and investments. He's going to be want to be the man that pumped stocks to record highs. So that's how I'm currently seeing things. I'm not going to go into too much detail around altcoins today. Obviously, there are some altcoins that that I'm openly not a fan of. XRP is one of those. I think XRP is setting up for a breakdown very soon. And I don't know if we come down this low over the next month or whether this actually probably takes longer to play out. It probably does take a fair bit longer to play out. But if we go down to the daily, we see this. I haven't adjusted this path, by the way. This path has literally nailed price action to a T. I drew this back here. I mean, this is literally nailed the low, nailed the high. And I'm thinking we probably now start to drift down to put in another low, another lower high, and then after one, two, three, four attempts to break this support from obviously establishing it back at the end of last year, I think after the sort of one, two, three, four, after the fifth attempt in succession over the last 4 months, I think that that support will give and we will come down lower. What else did I want to say? I mean, you start seeing stuff like this. I mean, just ridiculous exit pumps. Mavia is a game that literally has no users and no one plays. The token is worthless, and you see exit pumps like this. This is trademark early bear market exit pump, where all of a sudden this pops up. You get traders jumping up and down, saying, "Oh, this is it. Look, this is a breakout. You can make some money here. Let's target this back to $1. Maybe $2, etc." And of course, the chart just gets absolutely rugged. And why does this happen so aggressively? Of course, you get breakout traders, you get people jumping in, you get a lot of shorts that got liquidated. You've also got market makers that are likely offside with this sort of move because this has been driven. This is like an inside job. A bunch of market makers. These tokens obviously have a very, very consolidated, controlled supply, where the only real people holding this token is the actual team. So there's not a lot of organic selling. So they can create an inorganic pump on this token. And then, of course, when it gets to a point, they all sell out. And yeah, it's just an exit pump. The same thing. Well, this was actually a Binance listing for BM2. I think this is the bubble map token, but it's going to have a similar fate. Not the time to launch a token. This RSS3, very similar to the Mavia pump, up to 10 cents. This is going straight back down to where it came from. I mean, all of these are going to zero. So, yeah, there's really not much more to say than that. Like I say, be careful of shorting with these exit pumps if you want to sort of play a strategy in terms of shorting. Maybe you've got some longer term spot Bitcoin like I have that you're holding, that you don't plan on selling. Maybe you want to hedge some of that with some shorts. You can go into CoinGecko. You can look at the top gainers over the last week, over the last day, and you can see what coins are having these ridiculous exit pumps, and you can short into them. But yeah, there's not really much more else to say. Like I say, this market right now is bearish. Every piece of news we get is bearish. There's a great saying: bull markets climb the wall of worry, bear markets fall down the slope of hope. Right now, it's a slope of hope. You go on any crypto channel, crypto publication, media, you go on crypto Twitter, you're going to see post after post of altcoins about to start and about to end QE and about to cut rates and global liquidity is, about to take off. It is just all complete and utter nonsense. And the market knows it's nonsense. This is why the market is not responding to any of it. None of this is making a difference to price. The market is smarter than these people. The market knows what is going on, and the market is telling you that none of this stuff is relevant. All of this bullish stuff you're hearing is not relevant. What was relevant was Donald Trump being elected. What was relevant was Trump coming into office and a Bitcoin strategic reserve being signed, because all of that stuff got front run, and everything else beyond that now is just noise. And that's exactly how markets work. Markets top on peak euphoria. This was peak euphoria. That is a cycle high. It doesn't get any bigger than this. It doesn't get bigger than the President of the United States launches his own meme coin of the world's largest global economic superpower signing a Bitcoin strategic reserve. It doesn't get bigger than that. Nothing's going to top this for a few years. So, like I say, uh, don't be deluded. Don't listen to those people out there that are talking absolute nonsense. Everybody out there involved in crypto is incentivized to keep you in the space, for you to hold your bags for as long as possible. They don't want people checking out. They need higher prices because they have a bunch of tokens locked up from all of these different projects that they get paid to shill and talk about. And they want you in the market with your bags so the price does not do this. They want you to hold here. They want the price to stay as high as possible so they can dump their tokens before you do. And I'm telling you now, you need to be very, very careful in this business who you listen to. If you want to hear the honest truth about the markets week in, week out, then you know what to do. Subscribe to this channel. I'm always going to give you the honest opinion. I'm going to trade this market with you, let you know exactly what I'm doing. Like I say, we went fully to cash on this breakdown around 92,000. Everything exited. That for me was the ideal place to exit. And from there, we are now in a markdown phase. And look, when this market shows signs of turning around, I will be telling you what I'm doing, that I'm starting to reposition, and potentially that happens as soon as 70K. But of course, you have to accept there is another possibility. There are two scenarios. We could either consolidate here and push higher, or we go into what will be a very, very brutal bear market, which I'm starting to lean more and more towards. And like I said, if somebody's coming out and saying alt season is about to happen, just do not listen to that person. They can't tell you, they can't give you any reason why, other than this is what happened in 2021. This is what happened in 2017. Well, we're in 2025. We've come a long way on from there, and there is nobody left to buy. There is literally, as I've talked about, there is nobody left to buy. Everybody that wanted to buy crypto this bull run, people are smart. People aren't going to wait until the last few months to ape in. They aped in last year. They aped in the year before. It's very, very obvious. This is why Bitcoin made a high before it's halving this time around. People were front running this cycle, and the bear market has also been front run. People have cashed out in profits well ahead of waiting to see what happens in the final year of the bull run. And yeah, that's why I think that the bull run is likely over. Like I say, I reserve the right to change my opinion if data suggests that we're likely to make another leg up and there's a catalyst. And of course, I'll keep you up to date every single week with my thoughts on the channel. So if you've enjoyed this one, please do hit the like, subscribe if not done so already, and I'll be back very, very soon with another update. Bye for now.